the Unscheduled Podcast. I'm your host, Zach, along with the man, the myth, the meme, the legend, Avi. How's it going, dude?
Doing very well. I let my dog off the leash for like 2 minutes and I almost had like a panic attack, but hey, we're here.
Oh my gosh, no, don't let Benji off that leash. No.
Yeah, no, but Zach, we're here to discuss a game that's very near and dear to our hearts.
Yep. But before we get to that, ladies and gentlemen, we have an amazing guest today. We have one of my new friends, as I would like to say, and one of the coolest people I know right now on Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to the lovely, the wonderful, the YakuzaLady.
Hi.
Nice.
Hello.
Welcome, and who we will be amicably referring to as Gur.
Yee.
So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, by all means.
Hi, I'm the YakuzaLady, aka Gur. They're gonna call me Gur periodically through this whole thing because my original name on Twitch was Gur X Dolly. And through a funny haha, I decided to change my name midstream, and now I'm the YakuzaLady. But everyone still calls me Gur.
That stream was great. So, in case you guys haven't figured it out today, we're going to be talking about our one of my favorite franchises ever, the Yakuza series. And
Hell
so,
yeah.
this is actually, so fun fact, this is actually Javi's idea to, like, you know, reach out and talk about this, because we've always been trying to do a Yakuza episode.
Yeah.
But we could just never figure out exactly how we wanted to get it to work. But when, you know, the more we started talking with you, the more your love for Yakuza is just freaking apparent and everything.
I am unabashed with how much I love the Yakuza series.
Oh yeah.
Hi, my
100%.
entire Twitch theme is Yakuza, and I will not hesitate.
Oh yeah, 100%, and it's
we love
freaking
that.
amazing.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Thank you.
But so we were just like, we gotta get the YakuzaLady in on this. There was no doubt about it at all.
Yeah, I think it would have actually been a crime if we did a Yakuza video and like we didn't have you on for this episode, Gur. I feel like it actually would have been terrible.
Honestly, I think knowing how I am as a person, I would have sensed it, and I would have like messaged Zach like, "Hey, buddy, pal, what do you think you're doing?"
How dare you not consult me on this very specific topic?
That's like me starting like a podcast specifically to talk about Street Fighter and not inviting the dude who has the username Zach
Oh,
Street
man.
Fighter.
Yeah.
Like that's just fucked up.
Yeah, no, seriously, it'd be like, I would flood your comments with like both supportive and slightly passive aggressive things at the very same
Like
time.
you know, you could have brought up if I was there, I could have brought up you know, and I'd be like, wow.
Great podcast, but why didn't you talk about this? I would have known about this.
Oh, wow.
No, yeah, we
And then I
definitely
would've
wanted to have
blocked
you on.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, and you know, let's get this out of the way. Sure.
Yeah.
Who is your Yakuza husbando?
I have two. Fight me. It's Majima and Kiryu. Next question. You can't make me choose
Oh.
between the two of them.
You-
I have
you
this
can't.
written down. No.
You can't.
You can literally hold me at gunpoint and be like, choose one and you'll live, and I'll be like, no! I'm a proud woman. I have no
Yep.
shame. I'm married to both of them. Polygamy exists. Fight me.
You know, I mean, really, it's worth it. So,
Yeah, because they're both amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, but Zach, how about you? Who's your Yakuza husbando?
Yeah, who's your husband?
I think after playing Kiwami, Kiryu kind of cements himself at the top.
Nice.
Yeah, like just like after going through so much dating with Kiryu, I'm just like, I'm
No
not
one
gay,
deserved
but
him.
yeah, I'm not gay, but I would be blessed to date Kiryu.
Because he's a good bean!
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't
He
matter.
really
Like,
is.
yeah, it doesn't matter his sexuality. He's just like a good person. He'd be like a great partner. I feel like.
See, the thing
Honestly.
is, it's like, what's so interesting now is that, like, because of Kiwami, Kiryu's sexuality is kind of ambiguous.
Really?
Yeah. Like just because of one specific thing that you're just like, it's like, who doesn't have a
He's
chance with
just-
Kiryu now?
He's so open-minded, honestly. He's just like, that doesn't sound like a bad idea, realistically speaking.
Yeah.
I'd give it a shot. And I'm just like, oh, Kiryu, you're so open-minded. Wow.
Yeah. Remember when he
It's
got
just like-
degraded by? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Zach.
No, I was gonna say like the way he phrases it, he's just like, so long as this isn't an inconvenience to me, I'll go along with it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll be an inconvenience to you, Kiryu. Kidding.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, Javi, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say that reminds me of like one of the best instances of that is like when he actually agrees to be like a dominatrix coach, and he just
Oh,
agrees
yeah.
to be like degraded, and it's like there's no lengths that this guy will like not go to just like help
He-
somebody out.
Physically can't say no. Like, he
Yeah.
literally can't. Unless it's like morally unsound.
Yeah.
He still won't even say no directly. He'll just
Yeah.
be like, I am standing my ground, so you can do what you want, but I won't stand for it. And it's like, that's technically not a no. But it's technically a no. He's
Yeah.
not, he never says no. That's all
He
I'm
will-
saying.
He will never outright refuse. Like even if you pick the option of no, he's like, I don't want to do this right now. Maybe later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Like he just no matter how they put it, he is physically incapable of saying no, except for one thing. But we're not going to discuss that because that's spoilers.
Yeah.
We're going to be mostly talking about Yakuza 0, and some of Kiwami, but we can't really talk about it as a whole without spoiling it for people and ourselves.
Yep.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
How much can I let out in context wise? Give
You
me
can
a
go through-
chapter amount.
you can go if it's anything 0, go all out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kiwami, keep a little bit more vague, and then beyond Kiwami, gotta hold back just quite a bit.
Okay,
Mhm.
got it. I just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure.
Yep, no problem. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
So let's get into this. How did you get into Yakuza? Because like the way you like almost portray yourself with it, it's like you were born knowing about Yakuza.
That's fair. That's probably why a bunch of people always come into my chat like, so which Yakuza game's your favorite? I'm just like sweating like a fake #fake fan. I haven't played through every single one of them, but I'm gonna, I promise. But the way I carry myself, like as you said, is just like, oh yeah, I can tell you how to get through 0 and 1 completely, and blah blah blah, blah, and we nerd out
Yeah.
about all this. And everyone's just like, yes, you are also a connoisseur of the classics, I see. And I'm just like, But how I actually got into Yakuza was my friend had gotten it for me. It was on my wish list. And I was just hearing about like Yakuza 0 in passing, but like very, very vaguely, just like
Mhm.
like the occasional like meme. And I'm just like, I assumed that 0 was like whatchamacallit, a spin-off of the series. Like it's not canon, it's just for fun, it's all just like mini games and silly content or whatever. And I was just like, shoot, I'll give it a shot, whatever. And I'm just like, I'll put this on my wish list to buy later, and if I like this one, I'll play the legitimate game. And my friend had got it, like took it off of my wish list, and he bought it for me, and he's just like, Merry Christmas. And I was just like, oh hell yeah. And so quarantine hit, and my hours were dropping at my work when I had one. And I was just like, I have all this free time. I have nothing better to do, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna try that Yakuza game my friend got me. And I open it up. I watch the intro, and the first thing I see is a bunch of dudes taking off their shirts, and I'm just like, all right, I'm in. Let's
Hell
do this. Let's
Hell
go.
yeah.
Oh,
And then like,
that's a great hook for so many fans I've seen. It's just you get no context to it. It's just two dudes throwing off their shirts.
it's like honestly, and like you'd think that in foresight or in hindsight, when you rewatch the intro, you're just like, wow, this has a lot of spoilers. But when you see it, you have no idea. It's like the
Yeah.
equivalent of watching like an action movie
Yeah.
trailer. So you're just
Yeah.
like, okay, all right, okay, what's happening? What's this? Especially you have no context on who the characters are as actual people. Like if you played Kiwami and then went to Zero and then watched the intro, you'd be like, you might
Yeah.
have a clue because you know how the stories go. But when you're like
Yeah.
completely blind to the series, it kind of just like you don't know what to expect. So you're just like, all right, okay. And then when I saw that intro, I was like, this game might be more serious than I thought, but all right. And so I was messaging my friend alongside of when I was like playing it, and when it had, I was like, one, I was telling him like, bruh, shirtless guy's eyes, and then two, I was just like, yo, this music's bumping. Like Sega's
Oh,
music
yeah.
team is so good, and he's like, that's the only team saving them right now, and I'm just like, yeah, you're right. And the moment that I got hooked on the games was right when Kiryu approaches the two people who are drunk, the young man and the old man, and instead of turning around like Nishiki asked, he said, nah, I'm gonna help sober them up. And you already do. If you know someone like Kiryu like that, you know that he's gonna beat them up. And I'm just like, all right, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
this
no,
guy.
seriously.
And then it didn't help that immediately after that, you run into Bacchus or whatever, and then that's just
Yeah.
one thing or whatever. But then you immediately go to karaoke. I wasn't sure what I was expecting because I never seen the Bakami Tai meme beforehand. Honest
Yeah.
to God, I've never seen any Bakami Tai stuff. 24 Cinderella. The only memes I've seen were like the picture memes, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. And
Yeah.
it wasn't anything spoilery. It was just like the characters being used as meme images, and I
Yeah.
was just like,
Yeah.
so this is the funny one, right? This is the funny game, okay. So when I got there, I heard the sample bit of Judgment. And I was just like, hey, yo, this rips.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
we gotta play this one. And I was just like pressing the buttons because I was like, I played a rhythm game before. I can do this. And I was just like, oh god, this is kind of confusing. Uh-oh. But I managed to get just enough points to get the music video, and that's when I started missing every button because I was astounded and shooketh
Oh.
by the fact that this serious dude who just beat up a bunch of people is picturing him and his best friend in a rock and roll music video as he's singing karaoke. And I
Oh.
think that's the cutest thing in the world. And I'm just like, all right, game, you got me.
No, 100% though. Like the first time I ever played karaoke. So the first few times I played the karaoke games, I suck at rhythm games. Everyone knows this. Like I put this out there constantly. The first time I ever played it, like I got a pretty low score because I was just doing it, I think, at that point to complete some like trophy or a quest or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back to it because my friends wanted to play it because I was playing it with a bunch of friends at the time, and they started playing it. And then they break into this, like they see this eye-patched guy who just literally looked like he killed some motherfuckers just like a moment ago. And then now he's dressed up completely in all silver in some like weird 80s boy band just singing his heart out. And I'm just like, when did this activate and how did we get here?
It's the typical male fantasy, don't you know?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, but that's incredible. Like imagine you not having found Yakuza.
Mhm.
Like I genuinely don't know what you weird, like not like weird to and not put you in a box or anything, but I don't know who Gur would be without Yakuza right now. And this is just me, knowing Gur obviously through Twitch and on the surface and everything.
Yeah, could you imagine if I never like put that game on my wish list, two, never had the time to play it? Because it'd just be sitting there. I'd just be like, oh, I gotta go to work. I don't feel like sitting through no movie or whatever. Because the second I got hooked on that game, I beat it in a week. I beat it in like 5 days or whatever, and I was just like, ayo, yo! This game's so much fun.
Oh my god.
And
Oh my.
I kid you not, half my friends, every time I told my friends, like, guys, I really like Yakuza 0. I never knew about this game. Why did no one tell me about this game? And all my friends, none of them were like, they just looked at me like, why didn't, like, because it seems like something you'd already know about. It's right up your alley. How did you not already get into this? And I'm just like, I don't know, because I'm an idiot. And they're just like, apparently.
Oh my gosh.
Because literally none of my friends were surprised when I told them I got into Yakuza. And they're like, okay.
I mean, they sound like
Just
great friends knowing that.
Yeah. They know me well.
I'm just thinking about it because it's like, so just in the quick quote unquote origin story of like me knowing Gur, I was playing Yakuza myself on stream. Like I was going through Kiwami, I think at the time. Yeah, I was definitely doing Kiwami because I hadn't really done Zero or Judgment in a while. So I was just like, you know what, let's look for someone to raid, because you know I always do raids at the end of my streams. So I saw you were playing Yakuza, and I loved the reason I rated you, I remember, was because you had your BRB screen up, and it was just it was a really cool BRB screen that you would set up of like Majima at the bar and Kiryu drinking, and then just like the graphic you had playing while you were like away. Yeah. And so I actually got super lucky on this. I got super lucky that I rated Gur. I think it was either right before she left or just as she got back, like one of those two.
It was just as I got back, because I was just like, who the hell raids me when I'm away? What the hell? And I'm just like confused, like, hello?
Because like, so the thing was, it's like, I had not seen it said BRB from your overlay. Your overlay just, you know, was the bar of Majima and Kiryu. So I was like, oh, okay, this is really cool. They have this overlay while they play. You know, it was just kind of showing the graphic of Kiryu flashing on the screen. So I raided you, and I hadn't, and then once I got in through the raid, did it say BRB? And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, oh shit, I raided someone who's not here. That's going to be a totally missed raid. And then you're just like, and I'm like, oh my god, she's here.
Yeah, because my moderator, Phantasric, was like, oh, she's away having food right now. She should be back soon. And then I like a few minutes, like not even, like 2 minutes after he had sent that, I was just like, hello? Did I just get raided?
Yeah, like it was so wild to me. Like it was so cool seeing that, and then like it was so cool seeing that, and then at the moment, like I was just going off on Yakuza, and the fact that you could like feed it right back to me of what I was talking about, and you were just going off just as well. I'm like, oh my god, I found a friend.
Because I had joined your stream randomly because I was just like, you know what, I'll give this guy a follow because he was nice and he rated me. Why the heck not? Because it was like early into my streaming at the time.
Yeah.
Because I was still in the middle of Zero, and I literally was playing Zero, I kid you not, so that my friend Ginger Snaps Cyrus and anyone else who'd be interested would see the context of the Yakuza series before I continued to where I left off, which I had already beaten Zero and Kiwami at that time. That's why my BRB screen was based off of something in Kiwami, like a little Kiwami reference.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, I'm okay with playing this game again. It's a good game. And I'm okay with playing Kiwami again, so whatever. And then I was like, I'll pick up Kiwami 2, and then I was gonna start like being like, okay, so if I played a little bit, and I was playing it a little bit for Kiwami 2, not to go off on a tangent, but like I was going off on like Kiwami 2 for a little bit, and then I asked like, hey guys, would you prefer if I play this beforehand and know what I'm doing, or would you rather see me fly through this blind? And both my moderators were just like, blind, 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 and I'm just like, all right.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
And so I was just like, screw it. Yeah, you know, it's more fun seeing a natural reaction. But yeah, and so I had followed Zach, and he was doing the Kiwami stuff, and luckily I had known most of the things he was doing in that Kiwami at the time because I had beaten it twice. And I was like, hey, you need to do this, and this, also this.
Yeah, no, it was really fun.
Advice.
It was really fun because you came in at like the best time for me. So at the time I was playing through the dating section, and so like I had no idea what to do. Like, I had completely missed over this section altogether. Like, it literally, I was trying to knock out all the sub stories, and I had missed over this like mini dating game, which was a callback to Zero. I feel like that, like if you remember going on dates in Zero Hobby with the hostess from Club Sunshine, it's exactly like that, like virtually the same. So I went on these dates, and I'm just like, I have no idea what to do, and then like a minute or two later, Gur pops in, and she's just like, I know what to do, and I'm like, oh, okay, Gur, be my coach, please.
Yep. And I was just like, okay, and I'm just like, it's this one and this one. And like he would just ask me like, is it this one? And I'm just like, yeah. Or nah.
No.
It's circle. And he's just like, okay.
Yeah, no, it was just great going through, because I'm like I suck at the dating games period for like when I played it in Zero, and I'm just like, there's no way I can go through this again.
Honestly, like you started picking up on like the patterns of it eventually, because when I joined in another time, you were like on date 3 with one of the girls, and he was just like, that other girl was doo-doo. This one, I don't like her either, but I want to complete this. And like he started being like, okay, is it this one? I hope it's this one. And I'm just like, yep, it's that one. And he's like, okay. And he's like, I'm not sure if it's this one. Gert, can you check? Or like, Gert, can you let me know? And I'm just like, yes, it's that one. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, no,
he only got like
seriously.
one of them wrong.
Like it was just like that's just how it was. Like, I do not do the dating games for that very reason, because it's so weird too, because like they throw me off so much. It's like, okay, they did this answer beforehand, and then they jump on a similar topic, and then it's like, but it's a completely opposite answer, and I'm like, what do I do here? How am I supposed to get this?
Humans are complex, man.
Yeah, it really do be that way.
It really did be like that.
But yeah, for you, Javi, how did you get into Yakuza?
Yeah, so basically, it's funny. It was actually really simple. So I was actually just looking at the GameStop website because they were having the 3 games for like $20 sale or something like that. And oh wait, no, that's actually no, that's actually not correct. No, actually, yeah, I think what it was is okay, I remember. So I was looking at the PSN store, and I saw that they were having a sale, and I saw that Yakuza 0 was one of the games, and I was like, I looked at it, I was like, okay, this looks pretty cool. And then I literally just, I'm like, I text Zach because I know he was like into Yakuza, and I'm like, hey, dude, is Yakuza 0 a good game to start the Yakuza series with? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And then I literally bought it. I started playing it, and I think I beat it within like a month or something like that. So I thoroughly enjoyed that, and yeah, that's how I started getting to Yakuza.
Yeah, and you like the fact of like, so he would text me at times, and like the moment he hit How to Train Your Dominatrix, that's when I knew like he had already gotten, like, that's the point of like no return for Yakuza. Once you hit that point, it's like you are invested into this game. Like, if you complete that mission, you are now invested into this series. There is no I'm out, I'm done. No, you are now fully part of this.
Yeah, because like the main story is like a good story. I love, like, the way it's like paced, and like, things that actually happen inside of it. But the sub stories are kind of like a vibe check, kind of. So like if you like the main story, that's fine, because like it's good. But like if you can't handle like the sub stories, then I feel like it's there, but you might not want to do it. But I love the sub stories. Like they just completely drew me in. That I think that's when I realized I really liked the game, was like when I started playing the sub stories, the mini games and stuff like that. I think that's what really sold me on it.
It's so much fun too, because I would be literally doing like something random at the time, and then he would text me about what he was doing in Yakuza. And one of my favorite things is when he realized he could actually use bikes, and he's like, did this man just take out like 5 people with a bike?
Yeah,
I always advocate and tell people, by the way, bikes are your best friends.
Yeah,
use the bikes. And
no,
I was watching one of my friends start on Yakuza 0, and he didn't realize what I meant by take the bikes to your advantage, because he was using it in brawler mode, and he was just like, "Grr, you lied to me." And I'm just like, "Hey, dingus, it's in beast mode and you don't have it yet." And he's just like, well, he's like, but you still said it was the best weapons. I'm like, yeah, in beast mode. You only have brawler and rush right now.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I still 100% stand by the notion that bikes are the best weapon. You give
They
me
are,
3
but
levels.
not in Brawler because you get knocked over like in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know. Like once I started getting later game, once you start, you get the upgrades, you throw yourself together and stuff.
Oh no, he was like in start game, like he
Yeah,
was
no,
still learning
start game that makes
to
sense. That makes
intersect
sense, but
or
like,
interfere on people being rude boys.
yeah.
So it was the doo time for him. So he's just like, you liar, and I'm just like, I'm not a liar, you're just dumb.
But yeah, no kidding. Like just going with like brawler mode and using, even though like still using the bike, in my opinion, like I tell everyone, bikes are the best weapon because you get 3 levels of using that weapon before it totally breaks, and then on top of that, you get like 3 different times to use like your finisher on someone
Hmm.
and just wreck them. And I'm like, I see no problem with this. Like there is no downside here. But yeah, so yeah, but Javi messaging me and being like, I like about the bikes, about the how to train your dominatrix, and then just other random sub stories that are just like, it's just so wild and fun at how much Yakuza checks itself at like being too serious, because obviously the main story is serious, but then you have like these sub stories that go completely at left field. Like you never know what you're gonna get with them.
Yeah, actually,
It really
I'm
it's like
kinda curious.
that's.
Oh,
Oh, sorry, Hobby.
no, sorry. I was
Go
just gonna
ahead.
ask. It's like I don't know. Have you mentioned how did you get into Yakuza? Actually, I'm kind of curious.
Okay. Real quick, I'll let Gerd go and then I'll tell my story.
Oh no,
Okay.
you can go ahead. My point wasn't that prevalent. It was just about the sub stories.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, go ahead while we still have the momentum on the sub stories.
Oh, okay. No, I was gonna say it's just like the sub stories basically for anyone who hasn't played any of the Yakuza stories or any Yakuza game yet. If you want like any context on the sub story, it's like if you were watching The Godfather on TV and an Old Spice commercial came up.
Yeah, that's a
Like
good way
it's
to
like
describe
that,
it.
where it's
No,
just like a
that's
commercial
fairly
break comes
accurate.
up and just an Old Spice, any kind of Old Spice commercial. It could be the Terry Crews one or like the Diamonds one. Like that's pretty much Yakuza in a nutshell. You get a serious story about a mafia family and stuff, but also diamonds.
Yeah. See, the thing is, you don't even get like the transitions from one to the other either. It's just suddenly there.
Yeah. No, you get like a subtle intro to him because like you'll just be walking, and then
That
you'll get like
depends on
some
which
minor
one.
context, and then you'll just be like, should I help? It's your fault for getting in deeper.
Yep. And what's funny to me is like some of the sub stories too. It's like you can actively try to avoid a sub story, and yet somehow you'll accidentally still end up wrapped up in the sub story.
I've had so many times where I ran away from one story to like run into like 6 other ones, and I'm just like, stop, let me go.
And just the other thing, real quick on sub stories, I love how hyper aware the development team is on it too, because post game for these things, you can just play just the sub stories.
So good.
So it's a lot of fun. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, you want to play just the sub stories? Play just the sub stories. But so the other thing, so how I got into Yakuza myself was actually through a Nintendo crossover game. So there is a series I followed called Project Cross Zone, and in Project Cross Zone 2, they had like it was a collab between Nintendo, Sega, Bandai Namco, and Capcom. So they would have representatives from each of their like brands and stuff. So Sega in Project Cross Zone 2, which is a highly underrated game in my opinion, for Project Cross Zone 2, Kiryu and Majima as a team were introduced as playable units, and so it was so interesting because their dynamic would just be that like Kiryu just wants to get the fight over with, but Majima's like, no, this is fun, let me stay longer. So I'm just like, I loved their dynamic, and then they kept referencing their games. I'm like, what are they talking about? Because this sounds so interesting.
Yeah.
And so then like they keep talking about this stuff, and then so I started looking up the Yakuza series, and I tried to look it up, and I realized it was an old series. Like it was a very old series. Like it was from the PS2 era. So I realized at first I was like, damn, that's too long ago for me to get into this series. But you know, I was still looking at the series. It was still really cool. But I'm like, it was so long ago. It's like by this point, I think it was like near the end of the PS3 era lifespan, early PS4 that I finally found out about it. But like just a few months later, lo and behold, my friend was telling me how they got into the Yakuza series. Like she just had bought Yakuza 0. So I had been wanting to get into the Yakuza series, and she was telling me literally about the mission, how to train your dominatrix. And so like I had just picked up the game, I think myself, because it was on sale for like $40 at GameStop. And you know, this was back when it was full price and stuff. So it went from 60 to 40. So I bought it at $40. Then she was telling me about that. I'm like, you know what? I'm in. I'm like, I bought this game off of a whim, you know, because I liked the Yakuza series. And I'm like, and then she told me how it was all a prequel and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm totally in now. So I dove right into Yakuza 0. So, and I was in college during the time I was doing this. So what I did was like, I would go over to my friends' places. I would play on their PS4s and just totally geek out on Yakuza. And they would just be wild as like, you know, we would do the karaoke games, do the dancing games. And then they see these random ass sub stories. I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't he just talking about like avenging this guy who got killed, but now he's suddenly going to go dance over here in this club? Or you know, he's testing out this random drug that makes no sense whatsoever. So
yeah, it's for the greater good.
But yeah, that's how I got into the series. And you know, like after seeing just how great 0 was, like I beat 0 I think within like I beat it. I invested at least, like, I've invested right now at least 80-90 hours into it, maybe 100 by this point. But like I beat it within I think 2-3 weeks of getting it, just because, you know, school and stuff was getting in the way. But I started getting into it. I'm like, I just want more. And then when I started hearing Kiwami and Kiwami 2 were coming out, I picked up Kiwami, and then I just and I, you know, at this point I have the entire collection of the Western release, except for Dead Souls, because that is still evading me. But yeah, now I have every single game. And when at the time, like 2 years ago now, I think at this point, Judgment was being released. I followed up on Judgment, and just like I've been a huge Yakuza fan ever since.
Yeah, man.
Like hands down, I believe Gur is probably, I think, the only person as of that I know personally that outshines me in any Yakuza knowledge.
Oh wow.
And he's played the games earlier than me. What
Yeah,
does that say?
I've invested a lot of time into the games. I've invested a lot, and yet, like, but Gur is religious with it. I am a fanatic. Gur is religious. That's the best way to say it.
That's why I do joke and say, like, I am the Jehovah's Witness for Yakuza. I'd be like, hi, have you heard of our Lord and Savior Yakuza?
Oh my god.
Would you like to try it?
I would join that. Yeah, I would join that 100%.
And I
Like,
mean, honestly, I've had more people click on my channel because of my name change, for one,
yeah.
and two, because people either that haven't showed up on my stream before, or were just gifted like gifted subs and stuff, or just like my friends or any other like viewers that I've had on my stream that have been that have a sub, they use my emotes in other chat rooms, and other people are just like,
yeah,
is that a Yakuza emote? Is that Majima? What is that? Like, I've always seen everyone uses my heart Majima and my thumbs up Kiryu, and everyone's just like, is that Kiryu? Hold on, wait, where'd you get that? And then they click on it, and it's like, the Yakuza lady, who's that? And I'm just like, hi, I'm the Yakuza lady. How are you?
Oh yeah.
These are my emotes.
Yeah, so that was like, that's how you like stapled yourself into my chat when you first showed up. You like showed your Majima heart and Kiryu Ganbatte, and it was freaking incredible. I'm like, oh my god, where did you get those emotes? Like, you're just like, I made them, and I'm like, that's freaking awesome. So for me, what I always love is the fact that, like, for those who don't know, Gur also has done does art streams, not has done, but does art streams, and she always has like something Yakuza-esque going on her screen, and it's so cool to check out. And what's really cool and that I love is that you did commissions. Like at the time I was like, please tell me you do commissions, please tell me you do commissions, and like the moment you told me you accepted them, like I just submitted my ideas right away.
You're just like, I need this now, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like it was so cool because I always love the little thing, like in my head, and I don't know how you see it, but in my head I always, like, I told you I wanted Majima. Like there were a couple ideas we had thrown back and forth on the emotes that I was gonna do, but when I thought of, like, first I was like, I want knife Majima, that's what I want. Like, and I'm like, wait, no, let's do this even better. I want him doing like your Kiryu thumbs up, but then I was like, but have his knife be like the thumbs up, and you translated that perfectly into what I have. And on top of that, it's like, it's so cool because they're flipped. So to me, it's always, Kiryu and Majima, being on opposite sides and stuff. And to me, it's like, that's always my little connection I have to Gur and her channel.
It's like a friendship bracelet, but with emotes.
Exactly. Thank you.
Because
That's
you can switch them either way, and they'll just match because they're opposing sides. I just mirrored my just to mirror my Kiryu because I was like, oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
Having them face the
you
same
know,
side isn't fun.
yeah, and you've done like a couple other emotes for me, but that's my very favorite emote that you've done for me. Like that is hands down the winner.
I do like using it too because I'm just like, I have 2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
I got a
exactly,
Majima
like,
and a Kiryu. Yay!
it's so appropriate too because it's Majima with his usual smile and then just his knife.
Yeah, just hold it. He's basically pressing his thumb up against the knife, but he's still giving you a thumbs up. So is this a threat or approval? I can't tell. It's Majima, so it's both, really.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun playing Yakuza. I think so. Let's go with this. What are like one of your favorite like sub stories or moments in Zero? Let's go with Zero because we're talking like we've all now fully gone through Zero.
I'm trying to think of a sub story that I really like that's like super memorable and
Yeah,
like always sticks with me. I really like the Miracle Johnson ones, like all
that's a
3
lot of
of
fun.
them, because there's multiple ones that you can get,
Yeah.
but those ones are really fun, and like the dialogue for those are really funny because Kiryu is so out of the loop because he just doesn't consume media, and the director's just like, are you stupid? And he's just like, I guess. Like, it is like the utmost Kiryu, like himbo energy, and I'm just like, I love this man. I love an idiot. And like, for Majima, a lot of his are just like, I love his dialogue. How I think it's just I think what it is, just for like translation reasons and everything.
Yeah.
Osaka Kensai accents are usually more casual and less formal than Tokyo accents. So that's pretty much what he's doing, is just kind of like just using slant like combinations of like of words and just kind of like being like super informal, like yeah, all that, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love his dialogue because of how blunt he sounds.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm just like, this man's so cool. He talks like me. I can relate to this man. Because he said some lines that I would say, and I'm just like, oh, hey, Majimo.
Yeah.
So, I think out of his missions, though, my favorite, I kind of do like the drug one, only because that one's kind of just fun to do because it's a change up on the battle,
Yeah.
the fighting, and it's kind of just like, ooh, ailments, ooh, this is fun, and they don't really do that in the game too often outside of like changing what the enemy is using against you.
Yeah.
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 But it was kind of just fun to see like the various like, oh, like you gotta beat them up quick, your life's running out, or like
Yeah.
your screen's getting dark, what are you gonna do? And I'm just like, oh.
That's
It's
that's
very loose. It's very loose on like the RPG aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I was gonna ask. That's the cult one, right? Where you have to like rescue the daughter from
No,
the
no, no.
cult.
No, 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 no.
The drug one is if you want to know a location if you haven't done it yet. If you know where the breakdancing kids are, if you enter on the right-hand side, like behind them pretty much, and just don't go to them, but the wall like right in front of you, there's a poster. that you can interact with, and Majima will be like, "Oh, what is this? It's like a little crappy drawing, but something about drug testing. Like, what the heck?" And then he'll be like, "Why? Why are they offering this much money for a drug test? I gotta know," because Majima's a curious bastard, and he's just like, "I will face the consequences of my actions later."
Yeah, exactly. No, that's definitely Majima in a nutshell. But yeah, no, he goes through that, and he goes through like 3 levels of hell of just like different things going on, and like
And it's
taking
the same
drugs.
guys beating him up each time.
Or is he
each time.
beating up the same guys every time?
Yes.
Like it's really funny because like I think the best part about that, like the ending, is that the I guess doctor, quote unquote, who's like testing all of this, is more surprised at the miracle of Majima and just going through all of that at the end like no problem than like the drugs themselves. And he just tries to get Majima to stick around. And he's like, "But wait, you're like a miracle human." And I'm just like, "Yes, but
No,
for
wait, come
different
back.
reasons."
You'll really help us. Then he's just like, "No."
He's just like, "I'm done with this shit. I'm out." But yeah, what about you, Javi? What is your favorite sub story or moment?
I feel like I feel like I'm starting to like confuse what was like Kiryu and like what was like Majima shit. So like let me think about that a little bit. I think
Yeah, that's
was
understandable.
the one was the one where they have to like help out this woman, think that they're they have to convince their father that they're actually like with
That's
good guys and
Majima's.
stuff like that. Okay, that is
Yeah,
Majima's.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
I knew immediately which one you're
Yeah,
talking about.
okay.
You're talking about the
Yeah,
fake
yeah.
boyfriend one, and I'm just like,
That one-
that one. Yes, that is
Yeah.
Majima's.
Yeah, that one is definitely my favorite because like there's so many twists to it. So like the girl like just comes up to you and she says, "Hey, do you want to be my boyfriend?" And Majima's like, "Oh, well, no, but okay, I guess." Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but my favorite thing about Majima to oppose Kiryu, Majima constantly says no, but the world won't let him say no.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, "No, I will not." And they're just like, "But please." And he's like, "No, leave me alone." And they're like, "But please." And he's like, "Fine."
Yeah.
No, that's
exactly.
100% accurate.
Yeah, but no, but yeah, no, he agrees to do this. So he meets with he meets up with the girl, and they go to like the diner or whatever. He meets the dad, and then and I think like they're trying to do like all this nonsense. That's like the usual shtick, like, oh yeah, he's like a doctor or whatever. And then the girl like goes to like the bathroom or something like that, and the dad, he's like just deadpan, like, I know you're just doing this to, convince me that my daughter's like actually like well kept and stuff like that. You don't have to pretend anymore. And imagine just like, wait, what? Hold on, no. But like towards the end of it, like the guy is just like, but hey, if you're this good of a guy, then you might as well marry my daughter. And then the daughter's like, nah, I don't think so. And what do you know? The guy is just so damn charmed by Macho. He's like, fuck it. If my daughter doesn't want to marry you, how about you marry me?
No, actually, what it was, here's the dialogue. It
Okay.
was, "Majima, would you be? I give you my blessing if you actually would want to be with
Yeah.
my daughter." And Majima's like, "No, thank you." And he's just like, "Okay, if you don't want my daughter, what about me?" And he's just like, "No, thank you."
Yeah, no, thank you. Nope.
Once again, like you said, complete opposite to the Kiryu. He's just like Kiryu, I feel like would have just been like, maybe not now.
Yeah,
But
he'd
like
just be like,
Majima's
"Oh,
just like, no.
sorry."
Like thinking of, I have to dig through so many sub stories in my head, and I had one for like Majima that I was like that was really good, but now
If you can't
now
remember
I'm
it, I
just like-
might.
I think my favorite one, at least in terms of Majima, is actually the one where he goes around looking for the guy who was stealing pants.
Oh, the Bonton boy?
Yeah.
Which is like,
just-
that's what I call the character that makes a resurgence in there now, because I'm just like, I had to do that. I chose to do that mission on stream so that chat knew the context of why I would call this character Bonton Boy.
Oh yeah,
Because he doesn't
100%.
know the difference between pants, and I'm just like, all right, listen here, Bonton Boy, and he's just like 6 foot something now, and I'm just like, listen here, you dumb idiot, don't think I forgot. You don't know what tuxedo pants are.
But it's really funny because you go through like this entire fetch quest just trying to get back pants Then you go into
For
like
like a
this.
kid.
Yeah, it's really funny. And then you go into like this pseudo like mini. It's supposed to be a mini boss-esque fight. Like, because it's pretty early on in Majima's chapters too. It's like maybe in his second section, so you haven't really built up Majima too much. But like at that point, I had already like definitely I had invested a lot in getting his upgrades early on. So I remember going to that, and it's like at first I'm like, okay, I get it. This is supposed to be a hard fight, but then once you start getting the combos going and figuring out the pattern, it becomes this weird fight where it's like you do a lot of damage, then he does a lot of damage, then you do a lot of damage, and it's just like I'm like, how is this kid actually like being annoying? And then after the actual fight, Majima like just completely, it looks like he completely kicked his ass. Like he had no problem kicking his ass whatsoever. And I'm just like, Majima, bro, we were just having troubles with this. How are you okay now? Gotta
flex on the kids.
Yeah, no kidding.
Had show weakness. Majima's like, he's putting up a facade, but he's like, 3 ribs are broken. I think I have internal bleeding, but don't show weakness.
Genuinely though, like that's just how he is for Majima, and like I we've all done Majima stories, but we definitely should do some Kiryu stories too.
Okay, yeah.
I already said my favorite Kiryu one, so you guys.
Okay. For me, hands down, nothing will beat this, and it's not one sub story; it's a chain of sub stories.
Yeah, is it RQ3? Kidding. Huh? No, I was like, is it out of Q3?
No. But for me, what it is, hands down, is Pocket Circuit racing and like all of the stories attached to that.
Yeah.
Because it's freaking adorable how Kiryu becomes like pseudo dad to all these kids, and then like he eventually like starts going up even higher to where like he's now fighting the father of one of the girls and racing there, and then on top of that he fights like a businesswoman, like a businesswoman who's totally into him after she gets beaten by him. And then he just starts, and then it's like, the weirdest part is it's like minus 2 adults, he just constantly goes through kids who he's like dethroning as he goes through these races. And so
know
wild.
This, not to cut you off, but know this, at this point when you can unlock these sub stories, Kiryu has a real estate business that he can buy properties for over 35 million yen each, and he's going to this Hot Wheels pocket racing thing, buying out the entire stock and rubbing it in these kids' faces anytime he wins. And I'm just sitting here like, Kiryu, you're 20 years old, you own a real estate business, what are you doing? You absolute child.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, he thoroughly enjoys it. And the funniest part to me is like when, like, again, Javi messaged me about this, like when he started doing it, is the level of drama Kiryu puts behind it on like a victory or even defeat.
Oh my god, his defeat animation will always make me laugh. Anytime I see it in any other context that isn't in the game, and I've actually seen it on like a Tumblr post, and it was at like one of those actual places in Japan, I believe. But someone had made one of those like little like hex bug robot looking things, and it like went onto the track and it fell off. And then someone reblogged it and responded with the Kiryu like no thing. And then someone was like, how did you find such a specific GIF to respond to this? And they just said, that's how Yakuza works, baby. And I'm just like, yes.
No kidding whatsoever. That is Yakuza in a nutshell. Like, and it's just like the level he goes to this seriousness. It should not be this serious, but yet he does it anyway.
I want to take Kiryu to like an amusement park. I think he'd be great company, honestly.
Dead ass though, like.
Can I take him to like Tokyo Disney? Like, what the fuck?
It would be an experience, and the thing is, it's like, let's keep in mind, if you mess up Kiryu's day, he will thoroughly fuck you up, but at the same time, he faces no repercussions for doing so. Like, there are no police involved. There is no, like, no one's trying to arrest him. He just will fuck your shit up and leave and just be like, well, that was inconvenient.
Well,
except for, like, in the context of some sub stories where they're literally like, oh, there's the cops, and he's just like, yep, there they are, and it's like, really? Where?
But yeah, Javi, you were saying?
No, I was gonna ask, if you were a police officer, would you try to arrest Kiryu?
No, God, no.
Exactly.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
there was one
exactly.
that tried to do it in Kiwami.
Oh,
Okay, that's
really?
fair.
Oh,
No, I mean
But
in
it
Zero
wa-
as well. There was technically one in
Yeah.
Zero who would randomly who would be
Oh,
surprise
but he's
inspection
a
you.
sweetheart.
yeah. He's a nice guy.
He wouldn't
Yeah.
arrest him. He would just be like, "You got nothing. Bye bye." And it's like, okay, bye.
That may not totally be true, but you gave me the approval, so
I know, because you can have like knives and everything, and you're just like, "I have this juice," and he's just like, "Looks like juice to me. Have a good day." And you're just like, "Thanks. I'm gonna go fight a guy right in front of you using the weapon I didn't show you. Have a good day."
good day, sir. But yeah, no, just the over the topness of like the pocket circuit and like the deep level of like philosophy that goes behind it for him too. I'm just like, I was not expecting this at all.
He gets too into it. Kiryu is very passionate about his hobbies. You
Very
gotta
much
respect
so.
that man. He's unabashedly like
Yeah,
passionate about the things he likes. He's like, I enjoy this thing, and I'm gonna be happy with it, and I'm gonna take it as seriously as possible. And everyone's
Yeah,
just
no,
like,
no,
all right.
and not even joking. Like, it's not even just the fact of like, I will take this. I am going to enjoy this, but I aim to be the best at this, at like the best there ever was and ever will be at this. All right,
Hell yeah.
Just when he's into something, he's into it.
Oh, very much so.
Mhm.
Why do you think he's been fighting Majima for so long?
I guess. He kind of just tolerates him. It's like when a dog
Honestly, yeah.
approaches you and you're just like with a toy, and it's like you're not gonna not take the toy from the dog and be all like, "No, f you, I don't want to play with you, puppy." You're gonna be like, "Oh, all right, okay, since you want me to." It's like that, and it's fitting because Majima's nickname is the Mad Dog of Shimano. So
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, but yeah, Javi, what do you got then? What do you got?
For me, it's tied between. So there's the one where he has to become like the dancing king of Kamurocho or something like that.
Oh my God, yes, that's
That
oh,
one
the
is probably
disco ones.
yeah. That one is one of my favorites because it actually really got me into the dancing game, and also because of the fact that like I genuinely struggled with the last part of that series of substories so hard. Like the Sotenbori dude who like came over to like take over on like Kamurocho turf. He was
Mhm.
genuinely so annoying. I could not like every loss felt like such like a huge like pain and defeat. And when I
You're just
finally
like,
beat
I
him, it was
failed
like
my
yeah.
city.
And when you finally beat him, it genuinely feels like one of the most rewarding things I've done in the whole game. But like one of my favorite like actual stories, I guess, or kind of like gags, is like the one where the guy came to like Kamurocho to find his daughter, and he thinks that she's working at this she's
Oh,
working
I
as a
know
host.
exactly which one you're talking about.
Mhm.
No, I know exactly which one.
And so he asks Kiryu, "Hey, I'm kind of like an old dude. I don't want to really go in there. And I feel like it'd be weird. You're a young guy. Can you talk to this girl? I think she might be my daughter." And then
Mhm.
you have to go inside. You talk to the daughter, and then you're like, "Hey, I think your dad might have come all this way to come see you." And because like apparently, okay, so to give more context, like apparently this girl had also not seen her father in super or like for a really long time, and she also had the same name as the guy who was looking for her. Or yeah, daughter who's yeah, he was looking for. And so they meet together, and then they meet together, and they just instantly like kind of realize that they have like no relations to each other like whatsoever. And it's the funniest thing. And then the way the sub story is actually resolved is like the guy is like, well, hey, you're not too bad looking. I mean, I can be your sugar daddy instead if you want. And it is absolutely one of the funniest freaking things I think I've ever seen in like this in any game at all.
What's it so bad though? Because it's like she has the same. I don't know. It's just like, oh yikes! Oh yikes!
Yeah, yeah, no,
Here's the thing.
seriously.
It's
Yeah,
funny,
and
but it's just like, oh god.
he was so prepared. He was so prepared. He was
Mhm.
so prepared for her to be her daughter, for her to be his daughter. And then like as soon as he realizes there's like no blood relation, he's like, "Oh well, shit, let's do this." Like, okay, whatever, dude, whatever.
Yeah, like there is no like there is no like transition into that. He's just like, let's go, and just the fact that she just goes along with it, and she's just like, yes, let's do this, and it just reminds me why I love the
get that
game
bag,
so much.
sis. I guess I don't know.
It was just so wild to see.
Sometimes early 2000s. I forget that Yakuza 0 is like early 2000s stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
No, not even that. Like Yakuza 0 completely takes place in the 80s, and then
I know, no.
Kiwami is,
I
like,
mean, like
yeah,
its humor is early 2000s stuff.
oh yeah.
I know it takes place in the 80s.
Yeah, no. Like, no. That my point is, like, there are some things in the 80s that, like, it's so funny because you see people talk about this stuff like on Twitter, and they have no idea what they're referencing or talking about. But then, like, it's like you have to remember this is in the 80s, and then you look at all this 80s stuff, and it's just so funny. Like, one of my favorite things, just this is for Majima, is the telephone bag.
Oh, I love the shoulder bag telephone thing.
Which was revolutionary technology back in the 80s.
The phone peasants. God damn it.
It's just like, I look back at that and I'm like, I legitimately had to look that up when I first saw it. I'm like, there is no way this is a real thing. This has to be just Yakuza being Yakuza.
Was.
And yeah, no, it was. It was a Japanese product. And I'm like, that's fucking hilarious.
They were trying to make cell phones a thing, man.
It's wild. It's fucking wild, and it's so great, and I love it because it's Yakuza just proves to me more and more again why I love it as a series. But yeah, that's just how it be.
Yeah, Yakuza is a great fun time.
Do you got any more favorite moments or stories, Gur?
I can think of something that's like one of her least favorite moments in the game.
Oh, don't make me go off. Don't.
God,
I like being in a good mood. Don't use me for that content. Don't be all like, her run's very entertaining, and I'm just like,
If you want, if you ever post that, we will link it in this video. That very massive rant.
Just for context for anyone listening, I had streamed again. Like, I've streamed Yakuza 0 in completion on my stream. When I had first beaten the game, there was a part that made me upsetty spaghetti. I love the whole game. I love how it's written. There's just one particular part that really just sets me off. And when I was slowly approaching that part on my stream, I was like, ooh, I can't wait. I got words. And I was like warning chat. I was just like, y'all, we're getting close to me being angry. Y'all ready? And then chat was just like, yeah, we're getting cozy, let's go. And like when it had finally come up and I let like the cutscene play out. And it was like I was it went up to that like chapter end screen, and it's just like, you've got this many dollars or whatever. And all that. I was on that menu for a solid, I think my rant went on for like 10 to 15 minutes because I was just like, I don't want to keep talking about it. And I would pause. There'd be like a slew of a pause. And I'd be like, and one more thing. And I was just like going off because I had already ranted once before to my mod Rick because I wanted to wait till he got to that point because I was like, I have some words because I didn't have anybody who had played Yakuza 0, so I was just like, okay, I just want to be I want to know if I'm just being mean or not. I need to know if I'm just being a salty like grr, and I'm just like, okay, hold on. And so when he got to that point, and my other friend, we call him Moot, but his name is Matt, but Moot's just funner to say. He had gotten to he also started playing Yakuza 0 because I am like a virus. I spread it to everybody and they all enjoy it. So you're welcome. And so he had also gotten to that point. And he had the voice call when I was just like going off on at Rick, and he's just like, "Hey Matt, you want to hear me rant?" And he's just like, "Sure," and I just went off again, and we were just like blah blah blah, and I was just like going off, and both of them actually agreed, and I was just like, "Huh, I gotta relive this though, so I gotta replay it on my stream, and then I'm gonna go off again." And Rick was just like, "I'm excited. I get to hear the rant again." And I'm just like, "Oh god." Which I'm surprised people actually like my rant. And I'm just like, am I that abusing when I'm screaming?
Well, no. Here's the thing for me. It's like, it's not just the fact that, like, it's not just the matter of the fact of, like, how amusing it is. It's the amount of truth behind it. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say
there is so much hot truth behind it. And at the same time, it's just like, it makes sense. And honestly, like, I remember, like, listening to your rant reawoke the anger in me about that entire situation, because I had been angry with that, like, the whole entire thing that, like, we're not going to talk about right now, but I had been angry with that thing as soon as I finished the game, because I was just like, really, you did this for, and then I'm just like, I remember I was so angry about it that I just didn't want to touch the game for a bit, and then I had completely forgotten about that anger until I heard your rant, and your rant is fucking legendary in my book. And I'm just, I kind of want to post it somewhere so I can share it.
Like, I do like showing that rant.
Yeah, you like debuted it to me and Abby, and like, I remember I actually got just as heated with you. The more we talked about it, the angrier I got at the entire thing.
It's like one of those things is like, yeah, you're right. Hey, right. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm right.
It's so great. I genuinely hope you make that a YouTube video one day. I genuinely and thoroughly hope for
that. If I did, I would make it a private one, because I don't need people to tell me otherwise. I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I'm committed to this idea, and if you hate me, then hate me. But listen, I know I'm right. You can't convince the other eyes. Damn it. I take this stand as hard as I take I will not choose between Majima and Kiryu. Like, that's how fair. Hard of a stand that I take on this.
That's fair. That's fair. Like, I can just say, like, as much as Kiryu would be my husbando, like, it is just so hard, honestly, to pick a second place, because Nishitani and Majima just keep flipping back and forth for me.
Nishitani is a fantastic character, and I would have given the world to have had him work alongside Majima. And I'm just like, you know how much fun that fighting would have been? You know how many cool heat moves the two of them could have done? And I'd be like, yeah, I'd be so pumped. I'd be like, I need an alternate universe. I'm just like, just to appease me. I'd be like, I don't want to go in the stupid place with you, Sagi-chan. No. I want Nishitani. I want the lad. The homie.
Okay. Speaking of rants, do we have enough time for another rant, or do we want to save that for maybe potentially another episode?
Another rant for what?
I have my own rant about Yakuza. I've given you this rant before, but do we want to just save it for another episode altogether?
That is up to you.
Javi, what do you think? Like, do we have time for it, or do we just want to save it for another time?
Pocket it for now. Let's pocket it.
Okay. We'll pocket it for now. We will definitely have Gur back, so I can let this rant be unleashed.
If you let that rant out, then I'll give you the clip I'll let you play the recording of my rant, my infamous rant, apparently.
Oh,
so that they can hear it.
I'm in 100%. Oh, yeah. I'm in 100%.
I'll just screen share again, and then you can just record the audio if you'd like. Yep. Okay.
No, I'm in 100%. I'm down for that. For that. Okay, we're gonna pocket that rant for now. We'll pocket that rant that I have. We'll pocket
this one. This was good vibes, Yakuza.
Yeah, exactly.
Pro Yakuza stuff. Like, hey, this series is fun, and the story is super. Like, it draws you in very quickly, and the characters are great. Majima and Kiryu, 10 out of 10. Super fun sub-stories. Yeah. Do we have time for rant? Next time. We'll talk about the cons next time.
There's a
Yeah.
rant boiling here. It's sitting here. It's getting ready. It's festering.
Oh hell yeah.
All right. But I think that's a good place to wrap up for today.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Thank you so much to Gur, aka the Yakuza Lady, for being on today. I appreciate it so much that you were here.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
me. I
thank
do
you.
appreciate it. It was fun talking about. I always have time to talk about my boys. That hour flew by very quickly because, listen, I can go about this for hours.
Oh yeah. I mean that's why. If you want to hear Gur talk more about Yakuza, where can they find you?
Yeah.
If you either want to see me, reblog or like just share a bunch of my drawings of my Yakuza boys, I have an Instagram at Girxdolly, GIRXDOLLY. That is also my Twitter handle. Or if you want to just talk to me as I'm live, so you can ask me my Yakuza questions, I stream on twitch.tv/TheYakuzaLady, where you can use my Yakuza emotes if you like them enough.
They're great. Like they're so wonderful. But yeah, thank you again, Gur, for being on today. Mango, thank you. Always being here, helping out, doing another episode for us.
Absolutely.
But with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get out of here. So we'll be back. Who knows when? It's unscheduled. Thank you guys so much for being here.
I was
Bye.
so ready. Sorry, I talked over you.
No worries. But yeah, all
Please
right, we're getting
keep
out of here.
Screaming.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.